Welcome to Cockadoodle Coo, where we discuss a very real threat to all humans, the chicken apocalypse. I'm your host, Pete Wallace, and I'm here to sound the alarm, raise awareness, and prevent catastrophe.
Episode 19, Russian America and the March of the Penguins.
Cold and snow, substantial distance between you and major cities, a Russian backstory, few distractions, and a location and climate where no one expects to find a creature like you. Sounds like a great place for training grounds or maybe a hideout. Yes, today we take a look where we might least expect to find those insubordinate American chickens. We've examined Delaware and Rhode Island and why, with their history, state bird connections, and small geographical size, they are possible chicken safe havens, particularly Delaware. But let's try a different angle. If I was a chicken strategist, I might consider setting up a base in an area with low human population for less frequent interaction or confrontation. It would also make sense to be relatively remote for less visibility and potential warehousing or training facilities, perhaps in a cold climate where chickens would least be expected to live. Well, chickens do not hold U.S. citizenship, nor should they. But if my status or circumstances as a chicken keep me on American soil, and these are the location criteria, we can narrow the list to Alaska, Vermont, and Wyoming, the three states with the lowest human population. Factor in population density, as well as proximity to large cities like Boston, New York City, and Montreal, and you can rule out Vermont. Wyoming has the smallest population in the U.S., but the second most number of dinosaur fossils found in all U.S. states. Since chickens share DNA with dinosaurs, chickens probably just consider Wyoming a giant graveyard. This leaves us with one tantalizing option: Alaska. Now you may need to recalibrate your thinking a bit. Many think chickens would not survive in the climate in Alaska. Perfectly logical, but with a rather straightforward response. They'd need gear, clothing, and shelter, just like humans. In sub-zero temperatures, a naked human needs clothing, gear, and shelter, just like a naked chicken. I'm not wrong, and you know it. Now, let's back up. Before Alaska became part of the United States, it was part of Russia and was actually referred to as Russian America. Alaska Day, every October 18th, celebrates the formal transfer of Alaska from Russia to the United States. Reportedly, it was offered to Liechtenstein first, who rejected it. Why did they turn it down, I wonder? And why did Russia even want to sell it at all? And what about the Russian Orlov? First, about Liechtenstein. The fourth smallest country in Europe at 62 square miles, they do not have an army and they don't even have an airport. Sounds like the Russians were trying to play them or set them up, but the Liechtensteiners knew it, and they didn't want any trouble. The Russian Orlov is the only distinctly Russian breed of chicken to be found in America. The chief distinction of the Russian Orlov, besides its looks, is the extreme hardiness of the breed. It will tolerate cold weather and survive when other breeds cannot. It also first started appearing around the time of the Alaskan sale. Again, it feels a little like Russia was up to something, doesn't it? Alaskans realized that these Russian chickens were not native and likely planted there as moles, and didn't put up with it. Good for them. We'll be back after this break. Now, to dig into more questions about chicken presence in Alaska, I spoke with phylogeography expert and Alaskan Trivial Pursuit competitor, David Simon. Welcome to the show, David.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, your research has resulted in security concerns over chicken and the Alaskan pipeline. Is that correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. The pipeline was built between 1975 and 1977, and it's capable of delivering over 2 million barrels of oil per day, thus being quite valuable. Well, less than 200 miles from Pump Station 9 is a unique little town where the human population is between 20 and 100, depending on the time of year. It also happens to be located around 40 miles from the U.S.-Canada border, in case one needed to get out of the country quickly. Suspicious,
That sure is. What is this curious little town called?
Chicken, Alaska.
You've got to be kidding.
I wish I was. Even the name has an odd story behind it. Legend has it when the post office was established in 1902, a community name was required. There was a lot of ptarmigan in the area.
And of course, the ptarmigan is
A medium-sized bird in the grouse family.
Right.
So ptarmigan was suggested, but spelling could not be agreed upon. So it was decided just to call it chicken.
Pretty flimsy.
Right? The town's story gets even better. The town has appeared and disappeared from the U.S. Census listings ever since. There's no electricity, no phones, but there is an airport. Questionable enough for you?
Absolutely.
Why else would Anchorage have put in a chicken ordinance a few years ago?
Well, Alaskans are smart. Wisdom passed down from previous generations, I'm sure.
And I'm currently investigating a mountain range called the Rooster Comb over the Denali National Park and Preserve. I suspect it may be for field exercises or something. I'm sorry. They're pelting the house with eggs again. I'm not even sure how they're doing it, but it's really cold out, so the eggs may be frozen. Just give it a minute.
Well, who's doing that?
Okay, I think they're done. I'll clean it up later. It's got to be the chickens.
Chickens? Do they have a catapult or drone or something?
I don't know. It does seem to happen less frequently during the colder months. Sorry. So back to the Rooster Comb.
Yes, please let us know what you conclude.
Will do. But, Keith, got to look into something for me, if you would.
What's that?
Have chickens struck a deal with penguins?
Penguins? Interesting. I don't know.
It can't be confirmed, but it also can't be denied. Here's why I ask. How often do you see chickens and penguins in the same place? Not very often. There are no chickens in Antarctica. There are no penguins in Alaska. Is this some type of alliance or maybe a divide and conquer strategy?
No argument here. They do seem to be conveniently separate.
Think about it. If guinea fowl act as a frontline defense for chickens, they're a kind of infantry division. Swooping magpies in Australia might be like their Air Force fighter pilots. So, maybe penguins are the water or cold climate specialists. Don't forget about the well-known March of the Penguins. They must be knowledgeable about military formations.
A very compelling argument.
I'm just saying, it might be deeper than you thought.
I appreciate the tip. Thanks for joining us.
I'd watch for those puffins in Iceland, too.
Well, there's another item for our to-do list. Sounds like penguins could be called winter chicken or snow chicken or something. But not frozen chicken, of course. That's just chicken that can be stored longer. Chicken Alaska, the border town. Rooster Comb training grounds. A potential penguin alliance. We are clearly onto something. Alaskans are smart and generally cooler than the rest of us Americans. But clearly, we need to help monitor chicken operations in any climate. Remember to support local farmers, Alaskan or anywhere. Eat chicken and eggs regularly. If we eat them, they can't fight back, and the threat will be neutralized. Subscribe to this show and follow us on Instagram or Twitter. And until next time, educate yourself and spread the word. Together, we can prevent the unthinkable.